The Heroes of Greyhawk is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
My friends, in our last session, the Golden Shears fought their way through the Temple of Lemminkainen in search of the Death's Head, an unholy Nerulean relic and component in an ancient ritual to free the Queen of Shadow from her bondage and release the Shadowlands from the reign of Countess Jetzok. The party was greeted warmly by Nerul's worshippers, led by the Death Cleric Kradashi, instructed to bend a knee and receive the King of Gloom's absolution. For some reason, they weren't into it. Poised to attack, Alrin succumbed to the cleric's foul influence, but Desmond and Nori burst forth from a poison-filled room and the battle began. Kradashi reveled in the bloodshed, seen it as an offering to his Dark Lord Nerul. Cultists and guards swarming in the party, on the party as the powerful necromancy paralyzed Desmond and Alrin. Death Cleric ordered Nori to relinquish her pact weapon, Shadowfang, in exchange for swift death, but she held firm and pressed forward alongside Xanthi and her ornery, if not effective, spirit guardians. With the situation growing dire for our hero, Desmond snapped from his paralysis as Alrin was dropped to the ground with, half a dozen or more dagger wounds from cultists. With a blast of necrotic energy, Xanthi was struck down, knocked unconscious as her changeling form was revealed. Nori stood by, ensorcelled by Kardashi's charm. It was not looking good. It really came down to a single roll. Desmond raced forward. He took a massive hit from Kardashi's magical staff, but remained uncharmed by the creature. Satisfied, Kardashi left Desmond and the remaining cultists to their devices. Our rogue took advantage by quickly administering a potion of healing to Xanthi. And with Kardashi gone, the cultists slain, our heroes shook off their paralysis, their charmed conditions, healed some of their wounds in anticipation of what lay ahead. So they pushed forward in pursuit of Kardashi. This was an epic chase. Nori entered the main temple chamber. She raced across a mezzanine, intent on leaping down onto the stone dais at the far end of the hall. There's this massive stone skull carved into the wall, darkly glowing item floating before it, the Death's Head. Alrin chased behind her, hurling himself off the mezzanine and landing an epic elbow drop on their enemy, Kradashi. At this point, the rest of the party swarmed in to stop the Death Cleric before he could reach the unholy relic that was floating just out of reach. And Alrin, fueled by desperation, lunged forward in a blur of steel, his blade slashing across Kradashi, drawing more blood. The cleric gasped, blood pouring forth as his body collapsed before the unholy relic he sought to claim. Kradashi was split open. His blood spilled inside the temple of his master, Nerul. A very fitting end, I would say. And with the evil relic now secured by our heroes, the party raced back to the rooftop of this foul temple, blowing into an obsidian whistle that had been given to them by one of the Dusk Maidens, Thota. And while no sound was made, 4 giant albino moths appeared from the mists that emanated from the whistle, offering transportation for the party back to the House of Black Lanterns. And that, my friends, is where we will rejoin our story as you have found yourselves back in the courtyard to the House of Black Lanterns. What, my friends, would you like to do at this point?
Oh, man.
Collapse?
I'm so exhausted and... Oh, this cloak really smells bad.
Des will take a look around when they walk in to see if there's any new people he hasn't seen before.
Give me a perception check. Let's roll some dice.
Before we all go in, I will press the digitation, all of us, so at least we look the part of being alive.
Fair.
That's 15 perception.
Prestidigitation, like the best spell in the whole book. I mean, if I was going to have a spell...
I mean, yeah, if you're a germaphobe.
I think it's good for a lot of things. It's very useful.
It's one of the most
is
used.
Cleaning herself like a hamster.
So good. What was the roll, Desmond?
15.
15. All right, you look around. You see a couple of familiar individuals. It seems as though there is quite a crowd here on this night. There is this elvish individual with long silvery hair and a shimmering blue cloak. You had seen them before. You see a human type with raven black hair, lots of knives strapped to a bandolier around their chest. A couple of familiar faces, a bald-headed human with a neatly trimmed beard and brown robes. He's got a large tome in his hand. You see a curly, red-headed dwarven woman, very talkative. She seems to be trying to engage members of the patronage in conversation and having some success. There is an individual tuning a lute. These are all people you've seen before. You also see, well, what you don't see is you don't see Garton Grimhollow. You don't see Thornton, Sir Thornton, Valixian. You do see two things that are of note, I would say. First of all, you see Spugnoir sitting at a table, oblivious to your presence, scribbling in a book, as you've seen him on numerous occasions. And you also see this amorphous mass of darkness in the corner, viscous black tar-like creature, which you've encountered before. In fact, Alrin attempted at one point to communicate with these individuals, although you were told...
I tried to pull...
Yeah, you tried to pull some info from them. Yeah. And you were told, I think, probably by Jarl, who is also there, that they are known as keepers. He himself, calling himself a keeper of the lanterns, the lantern keeper. He is there. You see a slender figure of Jarl, very sharply dressed. He's got a dark vest over a white tunic, and he's got these, and a smart-looking bow tie, and he's got these black horns that sort of spiral up and above towards his neck. He looks over at you and raises an eyebrow as you enter into the building.
Des will do his best not to stumble around.
There's
Nori's
a table
definitely-
open, should you be interested. Go ahead, Nori.
Got her sword hidden.
Yeah.
Shadowfang is not out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Got it. What's up, Urahime? Good to see ya. Okay. So you see an open table. You see, as I mentioned, there's Spugnoir's at a table kind of by himself. You never seem to see anybody sitting with Spugnoir. It's very strange, but nevertheless, he is there scribbling away in his journal.
Yeah, let's find a table.
Perhaps some drinks. Relax
we
a
have-
little bit.
A room for the night here? Or was that like, what night was that? How long have we been gone?
Been a few days, I think.
Has it?
I think it's been very long at all. Plus,
Um,
time here is weird, remember?
do I feel like I
Could've
missed a night of sleep? It's the only way I think to know what kind of time frame we're talking about.
Give me a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
That is a 10.
You're very exhausted, and it's hard, but it's hard to tell if this is from a circadian rhythm kind of tiredness, or if this is more of something as a result of the massive battle that you just fought. It was difficult to tell how long you were on the backs of these moths flying, whatever distance it was, but it seemed significant.
Significant, like unusually significant?
No,
Or
I don't know if it was,
significant as in like just kind of a long time?
it seemed like a long time.
Okay.
Maybe we should ask the innkeeper how long we've been gone for.
That's not a bad idea. I would expect he has been keeping track because we had that room for the night we left.
The last time you were here was right before you left to go find Garten Grim Hollow.
We haven't
And
taken a rest since then.
not a long rest. You had gone to the procession of penitent pilgrims. Then you had watched as Thota basically beheaded Garten. You had then traveled to the foothills of the Darkreach Mountains, up and over. You guys are, at this point, you're probably pretty blown out.
Mm-hmm.
But you're at an inn, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have for money, you guys?
I found some money.
You did.
Great.
We're
Good job, Des.
buying then. Tonight's night is on Des.
Sure. Des will just kind of, what is his name? Carl? I keep forgetting.
Jarl.
Jarl. Des will motion to Jarl that they want to order something from him.
You get the sense that he saw you from the table. He just kind of nods. He's also serving like a bunch of people at the bar right now.
They're kind of busy today.
So what are we gonna do about this last item, you guys? Are we gonna deal with that thing that will probably want our soul?
Either
Well,
that or the dragon, which also wants our souls, apparently, if we were to deal with him.
you know, if we're going to have this conversation, maybe we could have it up in one of the rooms.
Yeah, you're right. That's not a bad idea. That blob is here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
As you're-
starving, so let's
As
eat
you're
first.
talking, this elven matron walks over with a tray of ales and sets them down on the table. She says, "It's quite busy tonight. If there's anything else you need, please just flag me down. Jarl's said he wants to talk to you at some point."
Hmm.
All right. That'll be 2 gold pieces for the ales.
Des will pay for
We all look at Des.
the ales.
Thanks, Des.
Mhm.
You're the best, Des.
As you hand her the coins, you just happen to look over her shoulder, and on the wall behind her, there's this sort of like sign that says "Gratuities are welcome."
Des will give her 3 gold.
Got to support our
say-
service staff, yo.
Yeah, and say, we'd also like some hot food if you have any.
Stew, and you'll be needing in rooms. Is that it?
Stew and, I don't know, should we do 2 rooms this time? Yeah. 2 rooms, please.
It'll be
I don't have
it'll
to be
be
alone. I can handle my.
14
handle
gold for 4 stews and 2 rooms.
All right.
All right. I'll be back with the stews. Gotta go.
Des, where did you get all this money, by the way?
I
I
found
don't
it
remember seeing
in
that.
that temple. I
Is
grabbed
that in
it
one
on
of
the
those
way out.
chests?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a born looter because we were almost like dead when we were running out. I mean, yeah, you're a pro
Maybe
at this.
let's not talk about that here in this place right now.
Right.
Looting. We can talk about looting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loots here, I bet. In Shadowlands.
I brought a shield back with me, one of the shields that one of the guards had, but I have my cloak over it, so you can't actually see the emblems and stuff on it at the moment. I hope to fix or something with that later. I might need this, but
Yeah, if any of your companions would have seen that or noticed it on you as you traveled back or as you were leaving the temple and making your way to the rooftop, they would have seen this somewhat dented but in decent shape shield that has the symbol of Nerul on it in the center of the shield. The skull and the sickle of Nerul.
I'll trade it out or whatever when I get a normal one, but I figured this might help us in the near future.
I think that's a great idea. I just, I don't know if those people had friends and if those friends are here.
Well, I have it wrapped with the cloak so you can't see what's on it.
Seems like we should just like
You're
eat
muted.
as fast.
They didn't really seem like the
I am?
friendly type.
I am?
That's all I'm trying to say.
No, Des.
Oh,
Of course, Des.
okay. All right. Well,
I already said it. Are you waiting for me to say it?
we didn't hear
Sorry.
you.
Never mind. I was just saying that they didn't seem like the friendly type. So I don't know how many friends they have walking around.
Well, last time we had a conversation and then the wrong people overheard, and it was a bad thing here at this place. So let's, we just don't want to make the same mistakes.
We could
Yeah.
just eat and drink and then go to the room.
It wouldn't be weird at all. We can just stare at each other while we're eating and drinking, right? I mean, we did just go through something. We don't need to make conversation at this table. We have bonded over near death and drama. We don't need to talk. Let's just eat.
Now, wait a
Okay.
minute. You're talking about a bard at the table. I can make stories up. I can be very creative about the weather and the darkness and the stars that I don't see overhead and the lack of dancing in this place, which I would do, except I'm literally exhausted and would just pass out. So no dancing tonight. But
Yeah, and we have plenty of trauma we could talk about that wasn't related to recently.
yes,
It's
like
very
our
true.
coffee. How long has it been since we've had good coffee? We
I
cannot
know.
market
I mean, since Emrity, right?
sludge.
No.
Yeah, it's still really gross.
Well, if you think about it, there's a lot of weird, gross creatures here. Someone might like that sludge. There's always a market for stuff. You just gotta find the right group, the right audience.
Right?
Am I right?
Have-
I'm right.
Have we tried it inside the inn yet? The coffee.
I think
Does it
we
work in here?
did,
we
didn't
did.
we?
All right,
Well,
we'll try
we
it
can
again.
try it. Yeah.
What's up, Jay? Good to see you, buddy.
Xanthi will try to pull out the carafe of endless coffee, and she'll try to pull a little bit of the coffee out and use her magic to make a little frozen coffee cup out of it, and then pour more coffee into that and see what happens.
Yeah,
shape
totally.
water.
So you take the carafe out and you tip the carafe as you have this shaped cup, and nothing comes out of it as you wait, and you just kind of shake it a little bit and nothing comes out, and then right when you're almost about to give up or to look inside, this big bubble, this big drop of viscous tar just right into the glass, and it just goes over the glass and onto your hands, and it's hot.
Ow, 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 ow!
Or we'll
It's-
help wipe it off and then taste it.
At least
it
it's
any good?
hot slime.
Is it any good, you ask?
Could have a terrible
It's got a-
presentation.
Basically, it kind of tastes like burnt coffee. So it's not horrible, but like old coffee that's been in the coffee pot for maybe like 2-3 days.
Mhm.
Tasted it?
Of course. I mean, it did just come from our carafe.
It's coffee
not-
adjacent.
The worst. I mean, I bet it would work in a
It's also
pinch.
asphalt adjacent.
Some people like that too. Some
Yeah.
people, not me. Just to clarify.
And Jeff, yes, I did roll a d6.
Yes. And the light went out.
Could have been worse.
And yeah, if we could ever find somebody who knew more about why our magic, or actually, it's not everybody's. It's just Alrin and my magic is all messed up.
It is coming with bonuses that are not quite ordered, you know.
Yeah, your feather still looks like a fishbone.
It does, and if I make all of the hair blow and stuff goes, it looks like I'm in a hurricane, and it's just very messy.
I mean, if anything, it's more dramatic because it's just violent.
Not really the point, but yeah, it works.
It's the kind of thing where
Helps
the
you
wind is blowing in your
blend
mouth, your cheeks kind of like, yeah, exactly.
More like Exorcist, less like Riz.
Lean into it. Lean in.
They're coming. All right. Okay. So Xanthi's gonna look around and see if she can find a table. Is there anywhere that 4 of us could sit?
You're at a table the whole time,
we
it
are.
turns out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys are totally ignoring Spug, but he doesn't know.
We've
Des
paid
is
for
staring
Spud.
at him.
Several times.
What's he doing right now?
Scribbling in his journal.
He's, he does that reset thing where he just repeats the same story because he's.
And he
a
didn't notice that we
ghost.
came in this time.
And it's real busy here, too. It's different a little bit, right?
Maybe he's in the zone.
He could
Maybe
be
we
in the
should
flow
give-
state.
We should
Yeah.
give him a minute.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt a flow state. You should never interrupt a flow state. He might be remembering stuff, too.
That would be great, but I don't know if ghosts remember things. I mean, that
What do you suppose
didn't
he's writing
happen
then?
during life. Well,
We could go find out.
wasn't he writing like spells from his book that's got,
Is it spells? I
ruined?
thought he was writing travel notes.
No, I write travel notes.
I mean, he wrote a
Well,
lot.
but you're not the only one.
It's hard to say.
do you want to ask him? Go ask him. He's gonna trick you into paying his bar tab off again.
Well, that's a given.
How much did you get from that trunk, Des? That
I think-
that trunk
think-
that we're not really talking about.
I think it was about 150 in gold.
But remember that every time we stay here, we spend like 20 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We could just all stay in one room and just really be economical about it.
We could do that.
We could.
We're almost finished though, like with the thing that we're doing.
It's true. Hopefully.
On paper, we're almost done.
Alright. Well, is there anybody wants to chat up for information before
Well-
we go to sleep?
Jarl wants to talk to us, right?
We all turn and look at Jarl at the same time.
He doesn't take note of your 4 sets of staring eyes, but he is busy behind the bar, wiping the table down, slinging ales, popping corks off of bottles of wine, and he's doing a whole what's the movie?
Cocktail.
Cocktail thing.
Tom
Yeah, where
Cruise.
he's
Jarl
ripping out
Cruise.
some sweet cocktails here at the House of Black Lanterns.
That
He's really
wastes a
stepped
lot
up
of-
his game.
Mm-hmm.
But he even uses his horns, right, to do some opening.
Oh yeah.
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 Once Dez has finished his dinner and everything, he'll go over and try to talk to Spug.
Okay. Yeah, you saunter over among the crowds. You can see that the lutist is beginning to strum a few chords. As you're walking over, you can see him. He takes no notice of you, and you can see he's got his glasses on, classic Spug Noir glasses. He's hunched over the table. He's got what appears to be a mug of ale next to him, although it looks as though it's probably empty as you approach. And as you're walking by, you take a shoulder from this kind of right in the breadbasket. And you look down and notice as you're kind of trying to work your way over to Spug Noir, this curly redheaded dwarven woman. And she looks up and she says, "Watch where you're going."
Oh, excuse me. I didn't.
What's
mean
your
to run
name?
into you.
Who are you? I haven't seen you around here.
Name's Des.
Des. I'm Corva.
Corva.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
right. You heard of me?
Can't say I have.
Why would you? Nobody knows who I am. I keep introducing myself around here, but nobody ever seems to remember who I am. So there's a likelihood that maybe we had a conversation once, but whatever. Desmond, I won't forget your name, pal. Because I'm going to write it
All
down.
right. Sounds good. Have you been here long?
I'm here every night. Can't seem to find the willpower to leave the place. I've been staying here for as long as I can remember. I'll tell you what. They really charge a high price for the quality of the rooms, am I right?
Yeah.
But the
Like,
stew?
A lot.
Delish.
Yeah, the food is good. And it's not horribly dangerous in here. Like
That's
it is
what you
outside.
think. You see the old blob over there? Watch what you say.
Oh,
They're
yeah, we
always
figured that out.
recording. They're always observing. If you're up to no good, and I can see it in your eyes, don't say anything. At least not near that one.
Okay. I wasn't planning on it.
Well,
Is there
fine then.
anything Weird. Anyways.
I'll be over here if you want to talk some more. Des?
Sure thing.
As she turns, she just kind of like gives you a little goose on the rump, and then she walks over to the other side of the room.
Whoa.
Nori
Xanth-
glares at her because she's like Xanthi's wing woman.
Mm-hmm.
Xanthi and Nori are just like watching this whole thing, and Xanthi goes, "Is that the woman flirting with Des?"
I think she is. Do you want me to go start something?
I mean, that would be weird if I like just walked over there and ingratiated myself and was like, "Oh, hey, I'm just here," right? And then she watches as this woman gooses Des, and she about goes over the table.
Well, Nori doesn't
Dazzled.
stop her. How are you getting stopped? I'll come with you.
Are you gonna go talk to her, Xanthi? You gonna go talk to Corva?
I don't.
Should we go?
She's-
Should we go tell her to stay away from your man? Let's go.
Already, you're watching these two
I am
young
trying
women
not to
getting
laugh.
all hot under the collar
I
about.
am really trying not to laugh. The exhaustion doesn't help.
She's not. I mean, she's gonna go over and like next to Des. She's not gonna go up in this woman's face, but she's gonna
Oh,
like
jealous type.
I'll awkwardly stand next to Des and be like, "Hey, Des, how's it going?"
Oh, hey.
As you say
You see-
that, Spug Noir kind of turns and notices you finally. Oh, hey guys, you made it. Great to see
Well,
you.
guys-
Did you just get here?
Yeah, I was coming over to talk to you.
Oh, great.
good.
About the spell book? Please tell me you got it.
No, we haven't actually found it yet. But we're getting close.
Well, I thought you said it was here.
Here?
That's why we are meeting here at this tavern. No? What?
There was a slight wrinkle and we weren't able to get it before we came here. That's-
What kind of wrinkle? Is everybody okay? Where's Lachlan?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Nori?
Nori's right over there. You don't remember talking about this before,
Hey,
do you?
Nori's busy bristling at Corva.
He's gonna turn.
She
his
doesn't
empty.
see a.
He can't,
doesn't
he
see
can't
Spug.
remember. He reset. He can't remember anything.
what's that? I can hear you. I'm literally right here.
How long
Reset.
have you been here, Spug? Do you remember how long you've been here for?
No, not that long. Where's Lachlan?
I mean, we talked about a lot of this before.
What do you mean?
Oh, Des, do you really want to get into this?
What do you mean into this? Des, tell me. What are you talking about? You're making me nervous. What are you guys talking about?
Don't be nervous.
He starts to sort of like
It's just
glitch a little bit.
Oh, no. You,
What?
Spug, you have amnesia.
Amnesia.
we got in one of those fights that we get in, and you fell down.
Yeah, like remember we were we were fighting in that warehouse and things started getting bad.
Warehouse.
Like you got one too many, smacks, and now like you forget things sometimes.
Wait.
Mhm.
Warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember the warehouse.
Yeah, remember?
There was-
like don't worry.
There was a
Like you just
fire.
forget things sometimes.
there was a flames. I remember the flames everywhere, and you can start to see on his skin, even though it's in a spectral form, that it's starting to turn to ash. Just like almost as if there's embers burning up from his fingers, up his arms, and he just kind of looks down.
We
The
totally got you out.
flames.
We got you out.
Yeah, you got a little burnt, but we fixed you right up, and you just been sleeping for a little while.
Why am I burning?
Shoot.
What are
Starts to
you
glitch
writing
out
over
again.
here anyway?
Nice pivot, Des. Nice pivot.
No, I remember now. The pain, the burning, it's
Right.
working its way up his arms, his cloak now.
Just relax.
Do you need another ale? I can go get you another
Everything
ale.
is all right. Don't.
I don't have any
panic.
coin. I'm all out
We
of
have
coin.
coin. We have
I
coin.
don't have any money.
We got lots of coin.
Spud,
You watch
look
as
in
his
my
eyes
eyes.
go red and there's like a glint almost of flame behind his eyes. And his face turns to ash. And he says, I'm so scared. I'm so
Don't look
scared.
at his eyes.
Desmond, help. Help me. And he just crumbles into dust onto the ground.
Des closes his eyes and covers his ears.
Someone nearby is like, someone's smoking in here. Spug Noir is gone.
Oh.
why did
I
that
didn't
happen?
see it the first time.
Because
I
he
didn't
burned
like
to
seeing
death.
it.
Yes, I remember that, but
He
not here.
remembered dying, and then he disappeared.
He didn't remember before. What did we do? Did you guys?
I mentioned the
might-
warehouse.
I might have kind of let it slip that he wasn't remembering what we had talked about before, and then he started wondering why he couldn't remember anything, and then
I tried to make a plausible story that he got damaged in the warehouse and that's why he didn't remember stuff, and then he started freaking out.
Is his book still here? Is his book on the table?
His book is not on the table. There's just a pile of ash where he was sitting.
Well, I guess we're not going to know what he was writing.
do you think we should take his ashes and
Yeah, should we
just
We should
clean
take him.
this?
because we weren't ever really able to give him like a proper burial.
Does anybody have a box or something?
As you are having this conversation, the elven matron walks up and says, "What you doing to the patrons? Oh my God, the poor lad
We'll
just
clean it
burned
up.
up."
Don't worry.
She has a
Here's a
broom in her
friend.
hand and a dustpan.
Can I borrow that for a minute?
You
I'll
just-
take care of it.
Yeah.
Nori
You
is
grab it
wiping
out
out
of her
her
hands.
her beverage cup right now, like making sure it's dry so we can just put it in there.
Do
Put him in
spug
there.
shots.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that he'll pull himself together later. She's gonna help Nori sweep up Spug.
Yeah. Dazzle
Get him all in there. Don't miss his.
shoveling little
pinky.
handfuls of spug into the mug. Will it all fit? I think so.
It's probably a pint glass.
It's a little bit. It's bigger than a pint, and it fits most of the dust, most of the ash from your friend.
There,
Most of it.
is it all just ash?
We
There's
need
no.
all of it.
And there's no
other-
chunks.
There's no pieces.
There's no chunks.
Do we have something
Do you
bigger
think
than
this
this?
is this really his body, or is it like some kind of weird
Oh, I mean, that's all we
spirit
have.
ash or something?
Well, can I like investigate what is? Is it like? Does it look like human remains? That
Not
have been
really.
cremated?
No, not really. It looks almost as if it's some sort of like sparkly. Not well. Maybe it's a little bit like it's kind of like a bluish. It's kind of like a bluish, sparkly ash.
It's kind of
Spugs?
pretty, actually.
Spug's cremains are beautiful.
Well,
You don't hear that very often either.
Desmond, as you finish kind of scooping up Spug's ashes, you realize that you've got Spug glitter on you.
oh, oh,
You're never gonna get rid of that.
it's all over me now. Can Xanthi, can you do your thing and maybe see if we can get some of this off into the mug?
I don't really want to use prestidigitation on it because I don't want to like clean up Spug.
We don't know
She'll-
where it
she'll
goes.
She's next to you trying to like wipe you down and like
He's trying to
brush off
he's trying
the
to like shake his
sparkle dust.
leathers.
It's like I have a lot of glitter on my backside right here.
And then, like, as she's like doing this, she's gonna look over at that dwarf girl and like give her a little head nod.
Auron is staring in his mug, wondering what the hell went into that after all of the dwarf butt pinching and then him disappearing and then cleaning him up. He's just staring hard into this mug.
As you're sitting there staring into your mug, Alrin, you hear a little rap, a knuckle rap on the table in front of you, and you look up, and it's Jarl, the tiefling proprietor of this place, and he just looks at you and says, "Your companions seem to be making a bit of a ruckus over there. Look, I've got some information for you. Gather your friends and meet me in the back." And he nods over towards a doorway behind the bar.
I'll use prestidigitation to make finger snapping noises where they are. I'll I'll be doing this.
Is that you? Oh,
Yes.
oh,
It's all right.
oh, all right.
It's a musical snap. We know it's a.
Yeah.
It's on the beat.
It's
Yeah.
in tune and everything, but
Bug couldn't keep a beat.
Yeah.
Oh, too soon.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Cheap
All right.
shot.
If we think we've gotten all of Spug kind of
Most of him.
together,
Can we pack him in there? I mean, like it's just
Yeah.
loose and.
You wanna
or
pack 'em in?
floating one vial.
Yeah, just
I don't
jam-
know.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm.
Like
As
grab
you-
a second.
Nori,
cup.
as you use your hand to pack him in, and you pull your hand out, you've got Spug glitter all over your hand.
It tends to stick.
I'm gonna wear him proudly, and then I just wipe it on me. Let's go. We should seal this
Alright.
cup up though, as best we can. Well, I'll take
should
whatever
stop
Spug I
doing
have
this.
on me with. We should do the same. Do we have a lid or a cover for this? It's just gonna come right out.
Let's just we can like wrap it with something.
Are we gonna put him in the bag? Bag is full, isn't it? What are we gonna do with Spug?
We'll
Well-
find a nice little. What are those called? Like a vase. We'll put him. We'll put him in a nice little urn.
Like a spittoon?
I was thinking maybe something not. Yeah, like a spittoon, but maybe not full.
Mhm.
Of
Yeah, we
stuff.
need the extra space.
Well, I guess we're just gonna. What is a cup in our bag right now, right? Until we
I mean,
find
we'll
this
We'll just
spittoon.
hold on to it until
Okay.
we figure out how we could transport it.
I guess he's staying with us tonight.
Yeah.
Should we just go put him up in our room? We done eating? What is
Yeah.
happening right now?
We have to go talk to
think-
Jarl.
We have to go talk to Alren at the other table, and he'll tell us what's going on.
Because he was like snapping at us.
Yes. I think he wants to tell us something.
He looks like he does.
Or he has to use the bathroom really bad.
When he doesn't
I can
blink,
press the
that's usually
digitation
how it
that
is.
up. That's not a problem.
Isn't that how they applaud in some parts of the world?
We're getting
Instead of-
loopy because we haven't
Instead
slept.
of clapping.
That's what's happening right now.
I think
We
you're
need to-
right.
we need to rest.
Mari. All right, let's go talk to Alren.
Hey, all right.
Alright.
What are you snapping at us for?
Jarl wants to talk to us, and he says that y'all are making a scene.
What?
We're like
Yes.
totally normal, like we always are.
No, he said y'all are making a scene, and he wants to talk to us.
We did
Those are
kinda-
not necessarily related, but those are two pieces of information.
We did
Yeah.
kind of wreck that table. Look at it. There's like the glitter on it, and then there's the coffee grossness on it.
We accidentally made
Coffee
Spug
grossness is on this table.
Oh,
implode.
Well, it's
Spug's
fine
on
then.
that one. All right. So where
Let's go.
are we going to talk to Jarl?
Jarl's over yonder. Let's go talk to him.
All right. We take our cup of ashes.
or spug mug.
Spug glitter. All right, so you follow Alrin back to a storeroom that's accessed from just behind the bar, and you see the tiefling barkeep, lantern keeper, standing there, and he says, "All right, well, I've got a lot to do tonight, but I do have some information for you. I took your note and I passed it on to a courier." Intended for Sewell and the deer as you instructed and asked me to do. Now I'm going out on a limb here to make the introduction. I can't vouch for what might happen should you seek this individual out. But I will tell you, he's a reasonable sort. Always willing to make a deal.
Okay. When can we meet with him?
Well, you're gonna have to make your way to him. And he sent something along for you.
Oh.
He pulls out this small box. Fits in the palm of his hand. And he opens it up. The top comes off. And what you see is this ornate brass compass that's set inside this beautiful wooden box. Taking a quick glance at it, you see that it is adorned with an etched surface that shimmers. There's appears to be some sort of markings of some kind. I mean, some of you have probably seen compasses before. He says, "I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. This is the fabled Korthax Void Seeker. I don't know where Nadir came by it, and I don't intend to ask him. But he's keen enough on meeting the likes of yous that he sent this along. This is quite an item. The courier indicated that it would lead you to the Gloomspire, where Sul Nadir lives. I don't care to have it in my possession any longer than I need. Here, take it. And he hands it to you, Alrun.
What's Korthax?
Korthak's Void Seeker.
Was it a person?
Korthak
point?
was a
Korthak.
person indeed. Likely the one who created this, crafted this item, designed it, imbued it with magic. From what I've heard, Korthak was a guide of sorts. A guide of lost souls. Well, what the end game was with them souls is unclear, but from what I remember from the stories I've heard, Korthak would guide these lost souls through the domains of dread to their final resting place. Apparently now it's attuned to the Gloomspire.
This Gloomspire, have you ever been there before?
No, God, no.
It's a pretty bad place.
They'd be prepared for the worst. Worse than the worst, perhaps. To be honest, I didn't expect to see yous alive. I didn't expect yous to come back. Haven't seen old Garton since I sent you out to his camp. So I assumed the worst happened. That you and him and, well, that you'd met an unsavory fate out there in the Shadowlands. But here you are,
Can
somehow
I ask,
still alive.
if you've never been to the Gloomspire, where did you meet Sul Nadir?
Well, he's been in here before, long ago. Right around the time that I first took over here at the House of Black Lanterns. In fact,
So you're a patron and you got a job at the bar that you attended.
that's a great way to look at it.
Okay.
Far as I know, shortly after I took my position as the Lantern Keeper, Mr. Nadir arrived. Him being the one who crafted and imbued the void flame that burns and protects this place.
I look forward to adventuring there. This whole place has been an experience, I will say that.
See,
I've heard that before. What is it? Speak up.
So the lost souls are going to the Gloomspire now?
That I don't know. All I know is what I've heard of this compass here that you now hold in your hand. That it was used to guide lost souls across the domains of dread. Now, it appears, as I mentioned, and as indicated by the courier, that it is attuned to the Gloomspire. Perhaps, yes, guiding lost souls, those of yourselves.
Do you think it'll be alright if we slept first and then set out to visit Mr. Sul Nadir?
Miss, I reckon you can do whatever it is you'd like to do. If your fate guides you to the Gloomspire, what's one more night at the wonderful House of Black Lanterns, huh?
Yeah, of course.
Well, this Sul Nadir, though, he's not going to take offense if we don't come right away.
I don't know him well enough to say one way or the other.
Well, we don't really have a choice. We can't go right now.
Well, then I think
Hey,
you
look at
answered
us.
your own questions.
Well,
How long ago did you come upon the compass?
The compass came to me earlier this day.
Okay.
Well, side note, our friend turned into ashes. Is that something that any of the other patrons have done, or like, is he coming back? I mean,
Hard to say. Weird shit happens around here all the time, miss. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen some of these apparitions disappear, and whether or not this individual will return, well, I certainly hope he does, because he's run up a bit of a bar tab, if you know what I mean.
oh, right. Yeah, I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
6 gold pieces is what he owes.
Mm-hmm. That's rough.
yeah, I'm sure he'll be back to pay it. He's a very responsible sort. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go?
All right, we're gonna go up to our rooms now. Thank you so much for the invite on behalf of your employer.
Oh, no, he's not my employer.
You stress the word "my." Who's his employer? Who's your employer?
Well, this here establishment is what employs me, miss.
Are you saying the Black Lantern Inn is alive?
Well, first of all, we need to work on our branding a bit, because it's called the House of Black Lanterns, not the Black Lantern Inn.
Okay,
But,
sorry. House of. You know what? I'm exhausted.
You look it. Well, we picked out a fine room for you, 2 of them to be specific. I think you'll find them to your liking. I've got to get back to work. Good luck with your journey.
Thank you. I know that you stuck your neck out for us. I appreciate it.
Just making introductions is all. If you see that friend of yours, the one with the spectacles, you tell him I'm looking for him.
Will do.
He ushers
All
you
right,
out of the
then.
room.
Off to our rooms.
Des will find the woman they bought the food and the rooms from before and say that they're only going to take 1 room. And see if he can get some money back.
She looks at you and says, "No refunds."
All right. Thought I'd try.
All right, well, let's go into one room 1st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, you guys head up the stairs to the long hallway that just seems to go on, and you have a key to room 6. And you walk down the hall. You have a key to 6 and you have a key to 8. They're both on the same side of the hallway, of course. That's how inns work. And you make your way down to either of those. Which room would you like to use?
6.
Okay.
Des will just walk to the
Noted.
first one that comes. I wonder if they have one of those closets that enters right into the other room next door.
You guys joined the rooms?
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's find out. We go into room 6.
Yeah, you open the door and walk in. It's a very plain room. There's a bed in there. You've stayed in these rooms before. They all pretty much look the same.
There's
There's a-
no secret adjoining room door.
You don't see an obvious door for sure. You see there is a bit of a foot locker. Looks clean.
All right. Okay, so maybe we should have a little meeting about what we're going to do tomorrow.
Okay, team meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm. What are we gonna do?
Okay, so we're meeting with this
He's
super powerful dude who might be Korthak, the Sul Nadir, or at least he has Korthak's stuff. And Korthak used to be a guide of lost souls. So that could mean that he is either a really bad guy who took out the soul guide, or he's a good guy that maybe was part of the soul guiding before.
Yeah, maybe yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna take a stab and say that he's a really bad guy.
Mhm.
He,
I mean-
Jarl's already told us that he will probably want our soul. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not good.
And this whole, House of Black Lanterns is kind of a racket to get people's souls.
I think
He's probably
Jarl
not
is
a nice person.
funneling us towards him.
Well,
I
maybe
bet he gets some money for it too. I bet he gets a cut.
maybe there's something we can
Finder's
do
fee.
for him other than selling our souls.
That's true. I mean, otherwise, we just need
Like
to
an
get...
exchange of services for goods.
What could be as valuable as a soul here that would suffice, though?
Well, I mean, it's not what is as valuable as a soul, it's what is as valuable as some black flame.
Hmm.
And maybe we could...
I'm gonna guess they're equivalent.
I guess we could try to steal it.
A lot of people have talked about that sword of yours. I have a feeling that might come up in the conversation.
It always does. It always does here.
If you left the sword with somebody, could you recall it later?
Well,
Like, could we trick him?
if
Or at least
it's away from me for more than like 5 minutes or so, it disappears. That's what I've heard anyway. It's never been that far away from me.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Place is
It's a
different.
bit of a
There's
double
4 more of
cross.
them.
Right. But
But
it's
Alrin,
an
what did you
option.
say?
Well, there's 4 more of those swords in this place, though. So who knows how or what kind of magic could control or take something away.
Every time that we hear about those other swords, nobody's ever able to say exactly when or where they showed up or where they saw them. They could easily be involved already.
Maybe we could promise Zulnadir to get him another blade? Maybe he knows where one is.
My fear is if his offer is either our 4 souls or an exponential amount of other souls to take that place. And that's not going to be okay either.
Do you suppose it's just going to come down to us trying to murder him?
Welcome in, Folk and Myth.
Well,
I mean, that's usually what ends up happening, right?
right.
Murder.
Murder.
But if he's a really bad entity, then is it a bad thing that we take him out?
No, not at all, but he's probably going to be really tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take him out in a second if I could.
Well, Jarl did just call him reasonable.
He did.
So maybe there's going to be something that he wants anyway.
I mean, I'm more than happy to sort of get into his mind a little bit as soon as we see him to see if I'm feeling that overwhelming urge to kill us. And then, do the snap and think again, maybe. Or see if maybe he's not the worst.
That's a
That could
valuable
help.
skill. We should definitely do that part of the plan. I mean, we being you.
Okay, and that's the last thing we need to get before we can do the spell, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
black
think so.
flame.
Nori reflexively will reach to her pack and make sure she has the sealed scroll, without even really stopping.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. Then we use the scroll. And we can't be interrupted.
Right. So it'd be good if we could do it somewhere where we think we might be safe. I don't know where that would be, especially if we make the Black Lanterns people angry.
That's true. So maybe murder is off the table if we want to use this place for our ritual.
But you know, hey, if we murder that guy, we can probably do it in his place.
That's true. That's very true. If he doesn't have others that will come after us after he's been murdered.
But you know, maybe he wouldn't mind that, you know, person being removed, right? Maybe, you know, like big fish, little pond, he would enjoy it. Maybe our clothesline.
Then we have to tell him what we're up to, though, right?
Ugh, that's probably a really bad idea, right?
It's hard
Well,
to know
maybe
who to
this-
trust.
Maybe this Gloomspire is just lousy with the stuff. You know, maybe we can just get some from somewhere else in there. We don't know.
We
haven't
don't
been
even
there
know
yet.
really what it is.
You don't know.
Don't know. We're probably going to have to murder this guy, though. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know that
let's be
murder's
honest.
ever fully off the table here.
It all depends on what he says. I mean, he will dig his own grave, right? You guys? By his
Right.
request.
Yeah,
By
I
his
mean,
trade that he offers.
if he's a real piece of work, you know.
Even if he's reasonable. I mean, it could be reasonable in a dark, scary, evil way.
Yeah.
I expect that.
Okay. So good talk. Does anybody have any found magical items they would like me to identify before we go to sleep?
I do.
Okay. Pick your favorite random item.
I was able to acquire from that creature that I dropped the elbow on a dagger and a ring.
Okay, I get one a day. But you can also tell me to do it in the morning. All right, Xanthi will. Oh gosh, the dagger. She'll take the dagger and she will cast her magical spell of identify upon it.
Okay. What does your spell look like? Do you have some components? Is it a ritual? Tell me a little bit more about that.
It is. I just have to have a pearl worth 100 gold pieces or an owl feather, and then that's it. So
Which you
I've been
have,
doing it a
obviously.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what does it look like when you enact this ritual?
She kind of like pores over it with her, like looking and examining it, and then she closes her eyes, and it seems to almost kind of glow like it has an aura for a moment. And then she just suddenly gets an idea of what it might be.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check, please.
Okay.
would like to roll with advantage because I get so sad when I fumble these.
Yeah, smart.
Ooh.
All right, 21.
Ooh, okay. Well, first of all, the very first thing as you cast this magic to identify this item, this obsidian, this finely crafted obsidian dagger, you pull it from its sheath and lay it down before you as you rest your hand upon it. And as you channel that energy and absorb some of the essence of this dagger to understand it, you are hit with this terrible vision of death. The eyes of shocked individuals looking at you from the darkness of the room as you sort of catch their eyes and they're in the shadows of this room. You can feel each one of these individuals dying as the dagger had been used to sacrifice them to Nerul. None of the rest of you see this, but certainly Xanthi, you see like sweat starting to kind of like beat up on her brow and sort of roll down the side of her face as she's sort of in this almost trance-like state as she's identifying this dagger. And this is a dagger of wounding. And you get the sense that this has been used hundreds, if not thousands of times to make offerings to Nerul.
Okay. And does it have any special abilities?
It does
that I can
require
tell?
attunement. Yep.
Okay.
It's a pretty badass dagger that does it has a necrotic essence to it in the damage that it inflicts in its victims.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she'll tell the group. So I got like a really creepy vibe off of it, and I think this is a sacrificial dagger to Nerul. But you know, like it does some necrotic damage, but it needs attunement. And I will say, with something super dark, we've had bad luck about things being cursed, and I can't tell if things are cursed.
Sounds pretty bad to me.
But nobody really needs to use it. Maybe we don't use it.
Maybe trade it to someone.
It's probably a big deal to somebody out there.
Yeah, we just need to find the right owner, like that creepy doll that I've been carrying around forever. Somebody will love her.
Give her a home.
She just needs the right place,
Mhm.
you know?
She just needs a little bit of love.
You
From
think?
the right being.
Right.
Where did she come from again? How long have we had her?
She was in that horrible alchemist tower. I think she came with the bag, honestly.
Alrin, while this conversation is taking place and this ritual has been enacted and this discussion is going on about the utility of this dagger, you feel something rustling on the floor behind you. Something moving on the floor behind you. As you turn around and look, you see Hansy just kind of poking you with one long fingernailed finger, just right in the left butt cheek, just boop, boop, boop. And as you look down, you hear this thud as Hansy drops this almost offensive looking jeweled necklace that you remember being worn around Kardashi's neck.
I remember leaving.
And Hansy just drops it like a mic right in front of you.
What's that?
And then kind of like skitters away.
That's
Oh my
offensive.
gosh,
It fetched you jewelry. Good job,
Yeah.
Hansy.
Yeah. I left that on kind of on purpose. It looks more evil than the dagger.
I think Hansy likes you.
I appreciate that. I can always use more fans of hands, but I guess we can figure out if this is magical and how bad that is. I shake my head a bit.
I mean, look at it. That should be
I don't
tomorrow
like.
morning,
I don't even
right?
want to touch it with my hand. I mean,
don't-
I can scoop it into a bag, but with the shield,
I don't even like looking at it.
Something's off with that thing.
It's gonna have to be in one of our rooms.
Yeah.
Not it.
I mean, I don't think the necklace is gonna hurt us necessarily.
You don't know.
I could.
Well, you
You don't
know,
know.
I already have one cursed necklace in here. So
Well-
She like shakes the bag. Wait, I mean, two cursed necklaces probably is not going to be a big deal.
To be fair, Hansy held it the entire time traveling back with us. So if I was going to, have something horrible happen, maybe it would have already happened. Or not. We'll see.
But Hansy is really just a hand. Like, who's to say that Hansy has the same,
Anatomy to be cursed.
resistances and things?
I'm just
that
saying,
we
it was on. Hansy was with it on my person traveling back.
Oh, it was touching you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hansy
Oh,
doesn't have a
no.
head and a neck to wear the necklace. Hansy was just
Yeah, but
holding it.
I think
I didn't notice he had it because I'm exhausted.
Hansy kind of skitters over to the necklace and kind of like just pushes it a little bit across the room towards you, Alrin.
I think we need to get Hansy a glove.
Hansy goes like this.
But don't. I mean, with magical items, you typically need to kind of sit with it.
Yeah, well, we have to identify it.
Concentrate on it,
buddy.
and try to get used to it.
But I appreciate you bringing it.
All right, put it in with the cursed necklace of Vecna.
She holds open the bag.
Oh, we still have that.
I scoop it up with the shield and throw it in.
All right.
What
do
are we gonna
Hansy's
do with all
fingernails
these?
actually look like that?
Who's
He
gonna
needs a
clip them?
trim?
Yep, they need a trim. He needs a manicure,
Mani
you know.
petty, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not a petty.
But
I don't
just
think
a
he's gonna.
mani.
Yeah,
Maybe-
just the Manny.
Maybe
If
those
I said
are
Manny,
like
no
his-
one would know what I meant.
Maybe those give him good traction
Maybe.
running.
Really
Kind of
dig
does.
in
He
with
does a
this movie.
scrape. He does a scraping sort of motion on the ground on the wood floor.
Yeah. Do you like having long, sharp nails like that, Hansy?
He just nods the stump of his wrist.
Oh, that's his look.
Yeah, you know, like you can't trim him too much because that's how he defends himself, right?
Yeah, I don't. It probably just wears down with time. I mean, I bet nobody has ever trimmed those nails. They're very sharp.
Or maybe they're like beaver teeth, where he has to use them, otherwise they just keep growing really long.
That will hamper his movement at some point.
You never heard of that before?
We'll just make sure he walks on some really strong rock to wear it down. Or murders a bunch of people. But that's really kind of soft. It's not really something that will grind his length.
All
could
right, should we
Bite
go to
his
sleep?
fingernails.
Time for bed.
Yeah,
Time for rest.
I don't. Yeah, we'll sleep.
Where's
on it.
everyone staying?
I mean,
You guys are currently in room
Two
6.
rooms.
Are we all just going to stay in the same room? Is that our plan, even though we paid for the other one?
no, we don't have to. We have 2 rooms though.
What's up, Doc?
Well, okay, this one has got that necklace. I'll go in the other one.
Anyone's, yeah.
Okay.
I know it's
We
in
can
a bag,
stay
but
wherever. It's all right.
All right, Nor, you're going to go over to room 8?
Yeah, I'll go to room 8.
Okay. Everybody else is staying in room 6, it sounds
Nobody's
like.
following me.
I leave. I
He
leave.
snores.
I leave those two. I leave
Yeah,
those two. I'll go.
Xanthi's just like awkwardly like,
Yeah, I leave.
"Hey."
No, I leave.
I'm making room for this to happen tonight.
Yeah.
Alrin could just catch on.
Alrin's real tired, so he's a little slower than usual. He was actually nodding off a little bit while y'all were talking. He was kind of like, I'm going. I'm what? Where? Who?
A-team, room 8.
Yes.
All right, so you guys pair off like you do and head over to room 8. Is there anything, before we take our long rest, is there anything that you would like to do? We'll start with Xanthi and Desmond.
Okay. Xanthi is, she's gonna, like, pull out, this ring of water walking that she has been carrying around, and, she's gonna, say, so, like, I have this extra ring that I'm not using. And like, you are loaning me your ring, so I thought maybe like I could just loan you this. And she like kind of just like
Okay.
shoves it into your hand.
All right. Thank you. But
It's not cursed. I used it once. So it's not going to steal your soul or anyone else's.
This is the one that lets you walk on water, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't actually used it on the water, but it's not cursed.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you for saving my life
You're welcome.
again.
You saved me plenty of times.
Well, of course. I mean, you're really important to me. And that's not just, like because we are in a trauma situation. She thinks back to her talk with Alrin.
Right. Trauma.
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally normal and healthy reaction.
Yeah, I got a little scared back at that place. Thought I was gonna lose you for a minute there.
Yeah. That wasn't good at all, was it?
Hasn't been that bad in a while.
Well, I mean, I guess we just have to promise that we won't die here, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just gotta be careful.
And like if we do die, we still haven't fulfilled that Elf King curse, so we'll probably just go back to that island, right? Like forever.
I hope so. I would rather be stuck in Twilight Falls for the rest of eternity than this place.
Yeah. And a lot of those elf ghosts seemed really nice. And I mean, honestly, if I had to spend eternity hanging out with you, that wouldn't be so bad either.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
All right, come on. We need to get some rest.
Okay. And Xanthi will curl up and try to get to sleep.
Yeah, Des too.
You're muted, Dave.
The two of you find yourselves, thank you, exhausted and quickly falling asleep. And we will go over to room 8 and team A. Is there anything else that the two of you would like to do as you make preparations to fall asleep, or you just like rack out and crash hard?
Nori's pressed against the wall to room 6.
Roll
Listening
perception check.
for any sounds
Just a straight
of
roll.
thumping, or that's a 16 straight roll.
You hear some muffled conversation at best, and some of it's maybe even in your head. You think you're hearing something, but you're not quite sure.
Lauren, I think they're having sex.
I take out my wine flask and pour both of us a small nip of wine to drink while we listen.
Thanks.
Oh no, you're listening too?
I'm too tired to listen, but I'm like, yeah. My head's not on the wall. I'm too tired to care.
You could dump out Spug's glitter and use the cup against the wall.
No.
Okay,
No.
you're not going to do that. You
No,
can't
but
just like-
scry. Thank God that they don't have the spell scry right now. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I
I-
mean, straight ear to wall, so it's,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like a cup.
I mean,
It's
I
the
can
best we
make
got.
you invisible if you want to go check, but
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
Well, no.
No.
Okay.
But I do pour some wine and then I pass out.
Yeah, you sip your wine and it is delicious. And you quickly see Nora, you see Alrin fall asleep.
Good night, sweet prince.
Amazing. All right. And Nora, you follow suit and also slip off into a slumber.
Yeah, Nori's just gonna take one more look in her pack, make sure the scroll's there. Hansy didn't put anything crazy in her pack. And if it looks normal, she will lay down.
Yeah, everything seems to be normal.
Okay.
And you lay down and find yourself quickly falling asleep as well. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 20.
Okay.
So 27.
You, whether it is from the exhaustion, whether it is being at a high stress level for well over 48 hours, combat, etc., even knowing what might lay ahead for you and your companions, and that this is really, when it comes down to it, you've gotten them into something dangerous, something that you may not return from. Of the four of you, I would think that you have sort of the deepest sort of feeling of dread that begins to creep in, but nevertheless, you find yourself sleeping well on this night. Perhaps it's the knowledge that your two friends in room number 6 are bonding, shall we say. And with that, my friends, we are going to take a quick short rest ourselves to refill our mugs of ale and stretch our legs, and then we will be back in just a couple of short minutes. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for the follows and kicking us into a hype train with your cheering. We really appreciate you guys being here. Everything else is just gravy on top, that beautiful, beautiful Greyhawk gravy. Thank you all for being here. We will be back in just a couple of short minutes. Stinger. Our heroes have returned to the House of Black Lanterns after an epic battle against the Death Cleric Kradashi and his, we'll say, cultist minions in the Temple of Lemminkainen, having now obtained the fourth of 5 important components of an arcane ritual that they hope to enact that will release the Queen of Shadow from her bondage. The Queen of Shadow, of course, being Nori's matron and the one who provides Nori with the strange and dark powers that she has. This individual, this matron, has been imprisoned, as it were, as we've learned throughout our adventures here in the Shadowlands, by a former lover and then betrayer, Countess Jetsock, who now reigns over the Shadowlands and is rumored to be a loyal servant of the Horned Ones. With some nefarious plot at hand, Nori has been compelled to drag her companions to this terrible, dark place, a domain of dread and despair, which they might survive, or they might end up having to bargain with their souls. I guess we'll find out. At this moment, you have all taken rest in the House of Black Lanterns. You have taken a long rest and achieved such in the parlance of Dungeons and Dragons. You have, through your heroics in defeating Kradashi, gained a level. Also in the parlance of the Dungeons and Dragons. And now you rise from your slumber feeling rested. Some of you in room 6, some of you in room 8. All of you will say rising, feeling rested, and also a sense of perhaps dread at what lies ahead for you. I would like each of you to please roll a wisdom saving throw, please. Don't forget that we have been bequeathed with some advantages from the chat. Thank you very much, chat, for that. Nori, what did you get?
16.
Desmond?
13.
Xanthi?
I got a 12, but let me know if I fail.
You're successful. And Alrin?
Okay.
Rolling with advantage of 10.
A 10. If it meets, it beats. Alrin, you shrug off this overwhelming sense of despair after the conversation with Jarl. The whole thought of trying to make deals with some nefarious entity is troublesome for sure, but you keep it together, and your companions are none the wiser that you have some trepidation, but you manage to shrug off the despair. The 4 of you rise and make your way down to the main hall of the House of Black Lanterns, take a breakfast. It will cost you each 5 silver.
Before we do breakfast, did Xanthi want to identify another item?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Let's try it again. I only have one, advantage, so I'm gonna save that for, my death saves or whatever. But let's give it a whirl.
What are we identifying this morning?
The other item that he
So we
wanted,
have
which is
the ring and the necklace, I think, are also enchanted. I'm less interested in the necklace.
Okay.
I would say the ring.
Yeah, it was
My
my
2 cents.
original intention to do the other thing that you had offered, so it was the ring.
Okay.
18.
That's your Arcana check?
It is.
Okay. You work your magical ensorcelment and you channel your divine energy into this ring, this very simple though beautiful ring, and you easily identify this thing because you've heard of these before, maybe as a young girl reading about them or hearing about them, but this is a ring of invisibility. A very powerful magic item.
Ooh.
Requires attunement.
Alrin is the ring of invisibility. It's super cool. And
It
it
is
doesn't
awesome.
seem cursed that I can tell.
Sweet. Not cursed ring.
I'm sure it's
Always
totally
a good
fine.
thing.
But it does require attunement.
That's fair.
Do you want to attune to it right away?
Sure. That's fine.
I don't like how
Go
he
for it.
slowly smiles.
I know. While Xanthi was identifying that, could Des have taken a look at this rolled up scroll parchment thing that he found in the chest?
Absolutely, you can. It is currently sealed. You'd have to break the seal.
Okay.
You don't recognize the seal, but it is some sort of it has some sort of a design on it. Some sort of it's worn and old.
Quickly before he does that, he's going to, as a ritual, cast detect magic on it. So
Okay.
he's gonna sit with it while they were doing their thing.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check
Okay.
to accompany that use of that spell, please.
9 plus 7, 16.
16. That's a good roll. This particular piece of parchment does not appear to be magic.
Okay, so he's going to just crack the seal then and see what it is.
Okay. You crack the seal and you unroll the parchment. And you can see that it is some sort of a formula, perhaps, or some sort of well, give me another Arcana check now that you're looking at this.
Okay. Um, 23.
Okay. This is it's a spell scroll.
Can I tell what it is for?
What languages do you read?
Well, he has common and dwarvish, but Des can also cast comprehend languages if it's a language he doesn't understand.
It is not a language that you understand. So you'd want to probably do the comprehend language.
Okay. That's
Yep.
another ritual spell that he could cast.
Okay. Yep. I mean, this will take you some time, but that's okay. You've
Yeah.
got time, or do you? So you easily cast that ritual. And you don't need to do anything different on that. And as you evaluate the spell, you see that it is a scroll of the spell Acid Arrow.
Acid arrow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell by looking at it that he can't do much with it immediately. So he's gonna kind of tuck it in with the rest of his spellbook materials, and with the intention of reading more about it later.
Maybe transcribing it into your spell book once you have the materials that you need to do that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, with those items identified at this point, what would you guys like to do on this morn as you're having you're breaking your fast with some food?
Who's got Spug's mug?
You do.
Mug of Spug. Okay, that's what I thought. Nori is kind of concerned with bringing Spug with and finding like a travel container for him. I think she'd go up to Jarl, maybe.
What can I help you with this morning? Figured you'd be off already.
We're getting ready to head out, but our friend, the one that with the glasses that's always writing over there, he kind of burned up last night, and he was our friend, so we kind of want to take him with.
That's sweet. Very sweet.
But I just used this cup. This mug. I don't want to take a mug from the house of the Black Lantern.
Very smart not to steal from the house.
I don't want to do that. But do you have anything that seals so we don't lose any of him? And she's still, of course, got a little bit of glitter.
Like a jar.
A jar with a lid would be great. Not smaller than this, though, because I really had to pack him in there.
I think I could find a jar for you. I mean, jars are fairly easy to come by over here at the House of Black Lanterns. It would be nice, however, if you paid off your friend's tab as goodwill.
I'll do the snapping that I see Alrin do sometime back at Des.
Chop, chop, buddy.
Des will come over.
Des has the credit card.
Hey, what's going on?
Des, let's take care of Spug's bill.
All right.
I think that seems like the right thing to do. Yeah.
Des will pay the 6 gold that Spug owes.
There we go. Let me see if I can find you a jar. 1 sec. He disappears.
Thanks,
comes back in short order with a small jar that will fit the contents of the mug. Make sure you keep it tight. Tight seal.
No problem. Thank you.
Dave, how much would breakfast have cost us?
5 silver each, so 2 gold total.
Okay. 2 gold total, okay.
Nori will very carefully put the mug in so that we don't lose any Spug to the air. You know, not drop him from above and have it fly all over. Just being particular about the ashes. The glittery ashes.
Just
Hello. No, I didn't do that.
Oh, all right. Are we set? Do you got that compass? Actually, don't take it out here. But
Okay, we're gonna do this. All right,
Yes.
everyone, hold hands again.
Wait. Should we
What?
get a room here, or should we skip it like before? We wasted our money before, but do we want to have
wasted
somewhere?
our money, and
Let's-
we've never been turned away for a room.
let's take our chances.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Let's go.
Okay, so you guys step outside into the courtyard. On the cobblestones, the scrawny, stunted trees that adorn the space, the dark sky above. Can't hardly tell if it's day or night, but there's enough light to see. There's just beyond the courtyard gates, you can see the mists swirling as they do. And there is a desolate, cracked road that just disappears into the mists ahead of you. As you pull out the compass and hold it in your hand, it begins to come to life as you take the cover off of the box that it's set inside of. And you can see that the markings that are etched into the surface of this compass begin to sort of glow with just a very faint iridescent light. And the needle glows with that same light and begins to spin gently, turning round and round, and then it stops and it points towards the gate.
Rory will step towards the gate first.
Lead the way.
All right, let's go.
I got you guys into this.
And you're gonna get us out too.
Remember what I said about setting the bar low?
Oh. We can find our own way out without you.
Yeah, we'll just kind of succeed and
That's more like it.
not
Okay, now we're not
No.
going to be disappointed later.
if we won or not.
All right, as you step outside the gate, the needle repositions itself and takes you down the road into the mists, and you follow it. You follow it for some time. I would like Nori to roll a d12 for me, please.
Okay. 5.
Okay. You continue on for hours, it seems, taking breaks as needed, finding the day, what passes for day, growing long. The stunted shrubbery gives way to almost scorched earth landscape, as if it had been burned. Dead, twisted, stunted trees clinging to life, maybe. Amidst the cracked, barren ground, there's this sort of foul, acrid taste that taints the air. Everybody give me a perception check, please.
$19 for Dez.
Okay. Xanthi?
10.
Nori?
5.
And Alrin.
9.
Okay. Desmond, you're the first to see it as you're walking this road. Alrin holding the compass as you're kind of following. He's sort of fixated on the compass perhaps at this moment. And you look up, and as the mists ahead seem to just sort of part and swirl and move, and almost as if they're their own living entity, you see what appears to be a wooden structure reveal itself. And as you get closer to it, you can see that it is some sort of a gallows, a wooden platform set about 6 feet above the ground, an old rickety wooden staircase leading up to it, a frame of wooden timbers, and from the timbers, 3 swinging nooses that seem to just swing as if perhaps they each had an occupant, but they don't.
Gallows. That's not ominous at all.
At least there's
Um,
nobody in them, maybe. Just
yet.
means they don't use it anymore.
And it's odd. It's out in the middle of what appears to be nowhere. I mean, given the fact that you can't really see very far off of the road, you're on this really sort of narrow cart path that's winding its way through this gloomy landscape. But it's not like you're in a town center or, you know, there's no buildings or foundations of buildings. It's just this random gallows alongside the road, and it appears as though it's right alongside the path that you're traveling.
Let's just give it a wide berth and just walk by carefully.
Just bad vibes.
Yeah. Let's just leave it alone.
I'll even go off the path on the other side.
Okay. Nori
to
kind of
avoid
goes
it.
onto the scorched earth area off of the roadway.
Mm.
How about the rest of you?
Yeah, Dez is gonna
Compass
just
isn't pointing that way, is it?
The compass is pointing just straight past this gallows. Yep.
I'm just doing a kind of a loopy around the side of it on the other side. But
Giving it
still
a
in
little
the right
buffer.
circle.
Yep.
Mhm.
Understood.
Yeah,
Does-
Xanthi will follow suit.
Yeah, Dez is
Yeah.
gonna give it a wide berth and just kind of keep an eye on it as
Okay.
it passes to see if he can see anything move or any weird markings or anything like that.
Okay. All right, so the four of you give it some space, uncertain about what this place means or the significance of it. It seems random to you.
Can we look, like, as we're going by from a distance at, like, the nooses and possibly see if there's any illusionary stuff going on? I'm a
You would need to
natural
get
illusionist.
you would need to get closer to do a full investigation, but you can make a perception check from where you are if you'd like. It's going to be pretty difficult to make that sort of. You could go up and investigate the thing if you want to get more information, but a quick perception check. Go ahead.
Okay. That's a 14.
Unclear. You know, beyond the description that I gave you, you really don't see a whole lot. I will say that the one thing that you see is that there appear to be almost like muddy footsteps that go up the stairs, the rickety stairs up to the platform. But it looks old.
You guys, there's footprints.
Sure, somebody used it at some point. Probably not that long ago. I mean, it's no weirder than the stone pillars we found.
Oh yeah, the ones or like that stone for the pilgrims where everybody was just screaming.
Yeah, this place doesn't have any of the good scenery.
Nori will keep going even though she's very, very curious because mission at hand.
Gotcha. Okay, so the four of you continue on. Desmond, with your roll and your comment, as the four of you pass this gallows and continue forward, following the compass rose as it points, it's just pegged in the direction that Alrin's leading you along this roadway. And it seems, Alrin, that it's almost adjusting with the road. As the road turns to the left, the needle turns to keep you almost on the road. It's like it and the road are somehow in sync with each other. But Desmond, you walk past kind of with this sort of dreadful feeling on the back of your mind, clawing at your emotions, and you turn just instinctively to look back at the gallows as you are walking away and your friends are walking away ahead of you. You look back and you see someone hanging from the gallows, and the noose in the body are just swinging ever so gently. And as you take note of it, it kind of turns as if the wind is causing it to turn, and you look and you see yourself hanging in the gallows.
Is Xanthia around right now? Is
Yeah, she's
she,
right in
like,
front
nearly-
of you.
She's up at, yeah, she's ahead of you.
Look at it.
What?
Do you see? They're on the gallows.
She looks back. What do I see?
You don't see it. You just see the three nooses kind of swaying in the wind.
This place.
Yeah, she just takes your hand and goes,
I don't see anything, Des.
I saw myself up there.
Ooh. That can't be good.
That's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's get away from it. I don't like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing good comes from that.
This place is messed up.
Sorry.
It's your fault.
Mind the gallows.
Sorry.
Don't look
You guys-
directly at them.
You guys continue on, and at the point of where you're almost thinking that you might need to find somewhere to camp in this terrible place, the dead earth around you, you see just a bit of a structure ahead as the mists part momentarily to reveal the foundation of this stone structure. And as you take a few steps forward, you can see that the foundation of what appears to be some kind of a tower, it extends up into the mists and you lose sight of it. But you can see that the foundation appears to be constructed of massive bones that have been fused together. Above this sort of foundation, you can just make out this black stone that almost drinks the light, polished, as it were, set upon this foundation of bone, a spire that rises into the mists. Standing maybe 40 feet away from it at this point, as you stop and take it in, it just kind of appears.
Is this where the compass is pointing?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Directly at it.
Well, it is Gloomspire, so this is probably the spire we want.
You know what's cool about this is that we don't have to sneak in this time, just to bring a little light to the whole situation. We've
That
been
is-
invited.
Kind of a fun turn of events.
Yeah, it's refreshing, right? Huh. Sorry again.
Do you see a door?
Or is it just stairs?
No, you look upon this place as you take a few additional steps forward, and you can see that there is an iron door set within the windowless walls of the spire that rises before you.
Well, he's not Fae.
This is definitely it, right?
Nori will roll her shoulders back, walk up to it, knock on the door.
Before you even have a chance to wrap your knuckles upon the door, it swings slowly open as you approach.
She will turn back and look at the rest of them. And walk in.
As Nori takes a step across the threshold, Desmond, Xanthi, and Alrin, you see on the surface of this smooth spire above the amalgamation of bones that form its foundation, that there are a series of arcane sigils that just begin to pulse with energy. As Nori steps through.
Let's keep close to her.
Okay. Yeah, Xanthi is like holding on to Alrin's shirt, the back of his shirt, and Dez is like holding onto her hand, I think, as we're like creeping up Scooby-Doo style to this thing.
Somebody's hand is in the back like a claw.
Well, Hansi
Des
is
got
there
handsy.
holding.
Oh, yeah.
Hansi is holding
in the-
Alrin's other hand.
Yep.
As each of you enters into the Gloomspire, a wave of cold air washes over you, carrying a scent of wood smoke, cooked food, and a faint aroma of sulfur. You see flickering lights in this circular room from enchanted sconces casting long shadows. There's a hearth on the far side as you walk in with a well-kept fire. And you look down and the polished stone reflects the light of the sconces and the light of the hearth, and also your own images, but somehow distorted and warped, grimaced, ugly, frail, monstrous. You instinctively look away. You can see those same sigils are inside this place, also faintly pulsing. And from the shadows, you see a skeletal figure that steps forward, dressed in a well-tailored suit over a smart-looking vest and a white linen shirt, bow tie that completes the ensemble. This skeletal creature's movements are smooth and deliberate, not like the undead that you've fought in previous encounters. Its hollow eye sockets flicker with a faint spectral light. It stops about 5 feet from you and bows deferentially. Its voice is polite but chilling as it welcomes you in a deep, sort of a cultured voice. Welcome, honored guests. Master Nadir, the Fiend of Light's End awaits your arrival. May I take your cloaks? And he extends a hand, skeletal hand, in your direction.
No, thank you. I'll keep mine.
Alren, he takes your cloak as you hand it to him, and he looks to the rest of you.
It is a little chilly in here, so I'll just keep it on.
Very well. And he walks
Yeah,
over and
Dez
hangs
will
your
keep
cloak,
his on as
Alren,
well.
on a bone peg on the wall by the door. I trust your journey was arduous. We have been awaiting your arrival.
Oh, yes, we were exhausted yesterday. We wouldn't have been good company.
Yes, of course. Well, please follow me. Without a hint of any sort of menace or anger or danger, the butler, this skeletal figure, kind of gestures towards this narrow staircase that spirals upwards. Stone steps are well worn in the middle, as if many have climbed this spire. He leads the way with an unsettling grace, just very fluid movement that's off-putting, expecting something different from an undead skeletal figure. And you can hear the sound of his footsteps echoing softly on the stone floor. And Desmond, as a footwear guy, you notice that his shoes are very well crafted. He is extremely well dressed for a skeletal butler.
That's fine cobbling right there.
Ah, he's very sharply dressed.
Very nice shoes.
He starts to ascend the spiral staircase. Do you follow?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Right
what's the marching order?
Nori
Dez is
will go
gonna,
first.
yeah, Dez is
Okay.
gonna look to Nori.
Nori goes
Lead the way.
first. Who's gonna go after Nori?
Be right behind her.
Okay.
Then I'll be behind Alrin.
All right. And Desmond at the tail end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Xanthi's gonna be like looking around because this is like a high trauma kind of situation. We don't know what's going to happen. So she's looking for movement, anything weird. You know, also ways to get out if things go badly.
Give me a perception check, Xanthi.
Front door.
14.
You get the sense this place is extremely enchanted. First of all, there are. You also notice right away that there are no windows. There are no doors aside from the one that you walked through. And as you look back towards the entrance with that thought of escape in your mind, the door is not there.
Oh man.
Nor you follow this individual who does not speak at this point, just guiding. You come to a landing unclear how many steps you've taken or how many stairs you've gone or the distance you've traveled, but you can feel this suffocating heat emanating from a door on the landing that leads into something that's obscured. And you can smell that sulfuric odor much stronger. It almost starts to burn your nose slightly as you pass by this landing and this door.
I don't pay it a lot of attention. I think I'm very focused on following this creature with the fine footwear. Like, I'm almost in a daze right now, I think.
Okay. You continue onward. A lot of you passing by this warm, heavy sort of atmospheric landing. You continue up the stairs. You come to a second landing and a similar door closed there. It is made of this strange, polished black iron. It too gives off a stifling heat. And you can see below the crack of the door that there is a red glow that sort of flickers, stronger than a lantern or a candle. Certainly something magical. Your host continues to walk up the spiral staircase. I'm assuming none of you are, or maybe some of you are stopping. I don't know. What do you want to do, Desmond?
As they're going up, Des is going to take 2 darts out of his pack and just kind of subtly slide them up his sleeves. So he's kind of like prepping himself for danger without
Absolutely
outwardly looking like it.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. No one is watching you at this point. No one is trying to observe you, so you can easily do that and have those at the ready. You follow your guide up to a third landing, and it is another door very similar to the first, except that it's bitter cold, and the door itself is covered in frost. It almost appears as though the frost is creeping into the stairwell just ever so slightly. There are icicles hanging from the door jamb. The guide continues up to a fourth and a fifth and a sixth landing, seventh landing. You keep going up and up and up in this spire, passing by a ninth landing. And the door is wooden, cracked and broken. It's still in the door jamb, but it looks as though you could push it over, and you have this foul smelling odor that permeates through the cracks in the door, and your skeletal guide just continues up beyond this door. Eventually you come to a broad landing. There's no door. The stairs just open into a broad circular room. You look about, there's a hearth that burns near the center of the room. It's got this low flickering flame casting a warm light. Your eyes kind of adjust, and you can see that the walls are lined with well-stocked bookshelves. At a quick glance, they appear to be just packed with worn leather tomes and scrolls and arcane symbols that adorn them, the actual wooden bookshelves themselves. There are, around the perimeter of this room, 9 pedestals that are set within 9 alcoves, each of them bearing an item of some kind. It's unclear without investigating or looking closer, but they seem to be items of perhaps value or significance, as they are obviously on display in this room. At the far end of the room, opposite the stairwell, there's this large, intricately carved desk of a dark wood. It too is cluttered with scrolls and alchemical equipment, vials and beakers and racks. There's an open tome laying upon the desk. Behind the desk, there's another set of another very narrow spiral iron staircase that goes farther up to where you don't know. But sitting at the desk and rising at your arrival is this strikingly handsome, red-skinned individual, gleaming in the flickering firelight, piercing eyes of molten gold that radiate an unsettling yet charismatic intensity. He has 2 horns atop his head, ivory in color, elongated, sweeping back in a polished arc that complements his appearance. He's impeccably dressed, as you might expect given the servant's decor. Tailored suit of deep midnight blue, adorned with intricate silver threaded patterns that kind of catch the light as it flickers. He has a rich velvet waistcoat and a cravat around his neck that seems meticulously arranged, made of a dark red silk. As he stands and walks from behind the large desk, Desmond, you instinctively look at his footwear.
As he
Polished. The most polished, the finely polished leather dress shoes that you've seen.
bloody spotless.
He has this sort of warm charm as he walks towards you with a smile. And he says, "Welcome to the Gloomspire, Golden Shears. I have been expecting you for quite some time. My name is Sul Nadir, and I am honored to host you here in the Gloomspire. Please sit." And as you kind of look into an area that you feel like you looked at before, there are 5 chairs, 1 large chair and 4 smaller chairs that sort of semicircle face the larger chair. You get the sense that that larger chair is perhaps his, but he gestures over. "Please take a seat. Would you like something to drink? We have the finest brandy that can be found in all the realms." He walks over to a bar off to the side and pulls out 5 glasses made of beautiful
brandy,
crystal, sets them down on the table and starts pouring. "I hope your journey wasn't too strenuous. I assume that you have the compass."
It was good, and yes, thank you. This is a fantastic item that brought us directly here. And I hand it to him.
Yes. Thank you for this. He sets it down on
Fantastic
the desk.
craftsmanship.
"It is a prized possession of mine and one that I do not distribute lightly without great consideration, but I have a sneaking suspicion that you are here for a very important reason, or you would not have sought me out. It piqued my curiosity to know that I was, well, an important piece of whatever it is you're up to here." And he gives a big knowing smile. "Please sit." And he brings over the brandy and he hands one to each of you.
Des is going to take a look around. Can he see any of that black flame anywhere around in the room, like the House of Black Lanterns might have?
Absolutely. It is, there is, in the hearth, it is glowing with the black flame, the void flame as you recognize it to be. Now, please, tell me. You had inquired that there was some urgency in our meeting here. Would you care to fill me in on what it is you seek? What have you come here to ask of Sul Nadir?
We're looking for some Flame of the Void.
Of course. You seek
But I'm
the
sure you
Void
knew
Flame. It is not a surprise, Alrin. Now, I imagine this request is of great importance to you. Otherwise, you would not have journeyed so far and suffered so much across the Shadowlands. I've heard some tale of your adventures. This is not a place to underestimate, as you have, I'm sure, come to realize.
Yes, it's a very dangerous place. But, we've noticed that the House of Black Lanterns is a safe place. And is that because of the Black Flame?
Yes, the Void Flame do provide some very interesting benefits to those who wield it. The good Jarl, the current Lantern Keeper of the House of Black Lanterns, came into a bit of luck, I should say, in his acquisition of the inn itself and the stewardship of the lanterns that protect it. It is true that these magical flames provide a protection to those who would be taking refuge within its walls. A protective magic, I should say. A sanctuary in this evil land.
And
What?
if we got some of this black void flame, would we be protected as well?
Well, it's quite possible that you would. It's also quite possible that the flames would consume you, unless you are stalwart enough to wield it. Let me ask a question. You may answer how you might. What is it that you intend with the Void Flame? A highly magical and sacred item crafted in the Obsidian Forge by the most skilled of smiths in the deepest, darkest pits of the hells. What is it that you would ask to have done with this power? He raises an eyebrow as he looks at you.
At Xanthi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think anyone would like to be safe, so having the Void Flame would mean that we would be safe.
Perhaps it would make you safe in this terrible place, but perhaps it would only shine a target upon you.
Oh, we already have the target, I think.
I agree, you do.
I wonder, though, why it matters so much to you. We would pay what you need within reason.
A deal to be made. Now I'm listening.
What do you want for it?
He looks over at Alrin.
Oh
Alrin,
yeah.
I would like you to make a charisma
Get in
saving throw,
line.
please.
I'll use an advantage. Why not? I guess.
Do it.
Probably. We'll see. I'm going to use an advantage.
Okay.
Something in my heart tells me I should just fail it, but I'm going to use an advantage.
And remember, you do have that special inspiration that you got
I do.
last
I
game.
do have a heroic inspiration. But
for
I'm
a
gonna
reroll.
use advantage. See how we do. That is a 17.
You feel the loving gaze of this individual upon you, Alrin, as his words speak to your sensibilities. You've made deals. You've struck bargains. As he looks at you and you are now charmed by him.
Oh, I didn't have to use an advantage for that. I already got it, but I still failed.
Yep. He says to you, perhaps you should tell me exactly what you intend to do with this powerful magic, and I shall consider the cost that I would ask for such a gift.
Des is going to kind of blurt out at this point. Can you tell us what it is you do here? What is this place? Why is this spire here, and why are you here?
He completely ignores you. He completely ignores you as he is looking at Alrin right now.
Well, you've been watching us. You know some of the stuff we've done. The reason we're here is to support our friend Nori. As I point to her. She's been troubled for a long time about many things, but mostly her family. And we're trying to be strong and support her in closing a hole in what is going on. Somehow we find ourselves trapped here, though, and need this flame amongst other items to free the brother and other entities, to make her whole, so that as a group, as a family, we can be whole.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
You are a skilled linguist, but you withhold important information. How could I ever, he looks over at you, Nori, how could I ever seek to make a deal with those who are unwilling to share the true nature of their motivations?
Nori will pull out Shadowfang. Bring it into being.
Seems to have very little reaction to it as you do that. As if maybe he was expecting it.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna free the queen. And we need that flame. You know all of this, I think. You're just waiting for us to say it.
You
Or say
are
it,
a
and we
wise
want it.
one. You will have
What
to
do-
accept the truth of what you intend to do. I know, I have heard, and now I believe it, that you have gained knowledge from the Vistani, Madam Eva Blackwood, a powerful ritual. You think you can take down the Countess? That is noble. Do you truly believe that you can take down the Countess, Nori Bibblespark, of the Cron Hills, with just a simple sword and 3 friends and the magic of the Void Flame?
Or a friendship.
I do.
Roll
I
a
do think it's possible.
roll a persuasion check or a deception check. Your choice. Don't tell me which one it is.
Okay. With advantage from the chat.
Okay.
18.
I rolled significantly higher than you did. Do you believe in what you say, or is Nori have some level of, yeah.
That was a deception.
Yeah. He nods as he looks at you, almost in a sort of a fatherly gaze. Yet, what choice do you have? Here you are, as your loyal companion said, trapped here in the Shadowlands, with no way of backtracking.
No. Xanthi will pipe up. If I were a businessman, which you seem to be, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make an investment in something like this, because in the small chance that we do win, it would always be nice to be on the winning side, right? And you could always claim that, we stole the flame. But if we win, then you would be a benefactor.
Oh.
Right?
A persuasive argument. But to be fair, I'm always on the winning side.
But think of how little effort this would be on your part. Isn't that the best kind of deal?
There are many kinds of deals, and I am willing to make a deal. But first, a bit more brandy. And he gets up and looks to you as he brings this beautiful crystalline goblet or vase of brandy, and he pours a little bit into his glass. And does anybody else want some of the brandy?
Nori will lift her glass.
Yep, he pours more brandy. It is the best brandy you've ever tasted. It is very, very good. He says to you, Tell me of the last moments of Kradashi.
This one right here, and I will gesture to Alrin. Dropped down with his elbow and crushed him. Pretty quickly, pretty handily.
Did he beg for release?
I don't think he got a chance.
He tried to flee like a coward.
He was in the process of running away.
He was running to his holy symbol.
After his minions' heads exploded.
So it is true then, you have the Death's Head here with you.
At that, Dez is gonna kind of push his chair out from under him and stand up and start just kind of walking around the table to the other end from where this guy is.
Ori's just gonna nod in the affirmative.
Let me ask you a question, Nori Bibblespark. This power that's been granted to you from this Queen of Shadow, a woman I know as Queen Acherontis, a noble, albeit conflicted individual of great power, perhaps a bit naive, not necessarily unlike yourselves. Tell me, this power that she grants you, is it worth it? Has it been worth all of this?
It's a means to an end.
And what end is that, pray tell? I am sincerely curious to know. I find the notion of power and the nature of its wielding to be quite fascinating amongst the mortals.
We made a deal when my brother was killed. I would help her find his killers. If I just accepted. So I did. We're here now. He's trapped, I think. All these powers that she's given me will be in service to release him. Then I don't care about them. She can have him back. I just want my brother.
The familial bonds of love are a strong motivator. I can respect that. Do you believe that you will be able to deny the corruption that will be foisted upon you when you meet the Countess? That you will not compromise this value under pressure? A grasp for power to destroy, perhaps to survive, perhaps to hasten the survival of your companions, or for some other personal gain upon the strings of your soul that she may pull?
That seems impossible to answer right now. Of course I'm going to resist all of this corruption with every fiber of my being, but look at me. I mean, I'm just a little gnome.
There's a lot to bear.
I don't know if I can. I'm certainly going to try, but...
The funny thing about pacts with unknown and unseen and unproven entities is that you never quite know what the true ramifications are until it's too late. I look upon you and your friends here. You have power. You have secrets. He looks over at Xanthi. And you have made a deal with something much larger than yourself, and you have borne that weight, Nori Bibblespark, well, though you have lost much along the way. I only hope that with your final acts that you succeed in your quest. Can I help you in that? I would say, perhaps. Can I provide the thing that you seek? I could. But will I do so with merely goodwill? I will not. The nature of mine is to strike a bargain, to aid you in this time of immense need, Desmond, as you are sort of pacing,
Yeah, he's just kind of like walking around the far end of the table. He's not like being aggressive or anything. He's just kind of like, rather than sitting, preferring to kind of stroll around.
okay. Is there any additional intention, or are you just sort of taking a little stroll?
He's being casual, but he's on guard because he doesn't trust this guy.
Very smart of him.
So what is it? What do we need to do to get this flame? How are you going to help us?
You need the void flame for your ritual to shatter the shadow heart and release Queen Acherontis from her captivity. You will need to face the Countess. As I'm sure you remember, she bears the shadow heart upon a bone chain around her very neck. You have the death's head. Do you have the other components for this ritual?
Yes.
Oh, goody. So you have saved me for last. I would like to think the best for last. And he smiles with these just beautiful, perfect, pearly white teeth.
That's certainly what we thought.
I have quite simple terms. They are my only terms. I will provide you with an ember of the void flame for your ritual. You do not even know what you face ahead of you. Kind of shakes his head as he stands up.
You keep saying that. What do you know that we don't know? You have to know.
I know the Countess is quite powerful. I also know that it has been foretold that her reign would end by the sword of a mortal. But I also know that there have been others who have wielded similar swords, similar servants of Queen Acherontis who have failed. You are not the first to be here. I pray that you will be the last. None have made it this far. So I think you're doing pretty good.
They must not have had these guys.
Indeed, they did not. Hello.
They're everything. They're the reason we got this far, not me. We're the Golden Shears, and we'll do this. Just need that ember.
Indeed, you do. Without it, there is no ritual, only despair. The Queen's fate will lie within the Shadow Heart, her powers drained. I imagine it was quite a strain on her even to communicate with you and fracture off a bit of her power to help you along your way to find this place. Jatsak will continue her reign as she has for countless centuries. Go ahead,
Hey,
Desmond.
As he's talking about the Queen and the Countess,
Mm-hmm.
can Desmond kind of tell, like, which one he prefers, or is he kind of like, either through his actions or his speech, kind of like speaking more negatively about one or the other?
Give me an insight check, please.
Ugh, not good. 5.
You're drunk. Go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you've had a lot of brandy. Here's what you gather from him, just listening to him talk, that he appears to be, to you, impartial in the way that he speaks about all of this. You don't get the sense that he has preference either way, but you also know that he is willing to possibly make a deal with you, a deal that could lead to some big changes in the Shadowlands.
And can I ask, what do you care? Why not give us some of this flame?
Oh, I certainly
to
could.
you?
I could just give it to you, Desmond. And you could be on your merry way. But it's just not in
Seems-
my nature. You come
Well,
here with a need. I have a way to fulfill that need. It's tantalizing, isn't it?
It's that nature that worries me.
You are quite astute.
Can I tell what he is? Like, is he a Shadowborn? Is he a devil? Is he some kind of innate creature? Or like he's got yellow eyes, is he something similar to what Xanthi is?
Give me an Arcana check, Xanthi.
15.
Best you can gather based on what he has said to you and his appearance. The impeccable dress, his mustache and goatee trimmed like he just trimmed it before you walked up the stairs. The room in perfect order, not a speck of dust. His continued reference to deal making, you gather that he is some sort of a devil. He even mentioned the 9 hells at one point in your conversation.
All right.
So, given this and this delicious brandy, I am feeling in a deal-making mood.
What kinds of deals do you like? What is worthwhile to you?
The kind where the stakes are high. They are the most exciting.
Like, what kind? Like, do you like games? Or contests?
Games of chance, not so much. Games of strategy, quite a bit. What about you, Xanthi? Do you like games?
I mean, I've been known to play games before. But, not necessarily for very high stakes.
Well, you have come to me seeking to play a very important game with your lives. And the afterlives of so many in these Shadowlands. To that, I would tip my hat if I was wearing one, but it would mess up this wonderful hair. Would you care to hear the terms, Nori Bibblespark?
Yes, I absolutely would. 100% right now.
These are my terms. I believe them to be fair. The outcome of your quest certainly has the potential to impact my wonderful vacation home here in the Gloomspire. Ahem. I will give you an ember of the Void Flame. And in return, you will promise the following. He's looking deep into your soul, Nori. Should you succeed in this quest, I simply ask for Jatzok's head. If you should fail in your quest, I will take your soul for all eternity.
Just mine.
Just yours.
Deal.
Nori.
It's done.
He snaps his finger and this parchment appears in his hand. And he steps, as he's standing, he walks over to you and he procures a quill. And he says, you may review the terms. And it's very simple. It's basically exactly what he just said. And there's a spot that says, Nori Bibblespark, you may sign on the dotted line and our deal will be sealed.
Think about this, Nori.
Nori's already going for the paper.
You don't
If
know
we-
what this means.
If we don't succeed, I might as well be dead anyway. And I sign it.
As you sign it, the quill begins to burn in your hand and then it disappears as you kind of like shake your hand. You look down and you see the script of your name that you wrote sort of as if it's almost following the way that you wrote it. It's sort of like this fiery little script, this little line of fire that solidifies it. And he snaps his finger and the parchment rolls up and disappears again. Well then, a deal has been made. And he walks up to you and, shall we toast? With his glass held up to you. Alren, you raise your glass. Nori raises a glass. Anyone else?
Des is going to make a point not to raise his glass.
Fine.
Xanthi
Xanthi?
just chugs the whole thing without waiting.
Nice. Cheers. Here's to deals that have the potential to change reality. And he drinks it down.
I think Nori, like as she's putting her glass to her mouth, she's kind of like trying to wipe the tears from her eyes without him seeing. She doesn't want him to know that she's terrified and scared and sad. Or any of
Give
them,
me
actually.
give me a sleight of hand check.
A 1. That's a natural 1.
Oh yeah. He takes a big sip. Thank you for the raid, Phoenix. He takes a large sip from his brandy and then he looks at you and he kind of cocks his head and you see this compassion and he just reaches out with a thumb and just kind of wipes a tear from your eye.
You see Nori kind of like not really want it to happen, but she's letting it. It's getting real creepy up in here.
He turns and sets the glass down on the table. He says, well, would you care to see it then? The Void Flame. Very well. Follow me. And he walks to this tightly spiraling staircase that goes up, this iron staircase, and he walks up the staircase. You follow? Nori, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, Des will
Okay.
follow once Nori does.
This spiral staircase leads to the top level of the spire, and you can hear the wind blowing as you reach the portal that opens up to this broad platform, 60 to 80 feet in diameter, a massive pinnacle of this Gloomspire, and at the center of it burns this massive flame 30 feet tall. It gives off this dark glow as it pulses and burns and spits out bits of flame from the top of it. You see around the edges of this platform that there are 4 basins in each corner. Above the basins, there are these large cages that hang on these wooden trellises above. He walks towards the flame as you follow him. It's hot. It burns with a volcanic heat, almost threatening Nori to singe your long eyebrows right from your face.
Not the brows.
Mind of the brows.
Edges.
Tuck them in behind my ears.
Oh, the
That's right.
bangs.
Did Alrin and Xanthi also follow? I'm assuming, but I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, she would have followed Des.
Yeah, Dez is gone up.
How about Alrin?
Oh yeah, I'm charmed. I'm coming.
Okay. You follow him towards this massive pillar of this dark flame. He looks at you, Nori. A fair bargain indeed. And he reaches into the flame with his hand, and you expect it to burn him and his impeccably tailored suit, but it doesn't. He just reaches inside at the base of the flame, and he pulls out this small kernel about the size of maybe the pit of a peach, and it just burns ever so faintly, and it gives off little sparks. And he holds it in his hand before you. It just burns in the palm of his hand. It is yours. By rights.
Nori's gonna try to take it with her gloved hand.
You easily do. You reach down and you're expecting it to be hot and burn just based on the heat that's blazing off of this massive pillar of fire. But it has no heat as you grab it with your hand. It will not hurt you as it has been freely given.
Okay. Well, we can't fail. We'll have your head. Thank
I
you for
sure
this.
hope so. I would strangely like to see you succeed. Although either way, I come out on top. Good luck, Golden Shears. Desmond, with your high level of skepticism through this whole thing, I will say that as you take stock of what's going on at the top of this massive spire, you've traveled, I don't know how many stories up into the clouds. This thing is burning. You see these cages. Atop each one of these 4 cages is a small winged devilish-like creature. And you can tell that those cages are occupied by something. Each of them. But that's about all you can tell. Well then, our business here is done. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Just curiosity. You said that I had secrets. What secrets do you think that I'm keeping?
Perhaps that's for another time. I'll be here.
Okay.
And we'll be back with a head.
I certainly hope so.
I think you see Nori starting to walk down already with like shoulders hunched, and she's just got this thing in her hand and is just leaving.
Bones will show you the way, and you see as you go down to the main, or that next floor down, Nori, as you're kind of leading the way down, you see the skeletal butler there, kind of with his hand outstretched. This way, miss. And he starts to lead you down multiple spirals of stairs, passing by all of those doors that have different characteristics that I mentioned. What about the rest of you? Are you following as well?
Yeah, as people are walking out, Dez is gonna turn to the guy.
Sul
and
Nadir?
just say, yeah.
Okay.
That was interesting. That was a very simple contract. With witnesses.
Indeed it was.
Just keep in mind that if we succeed, so will you.
I'm well aware of this.
And he'll turn around and start walking down the stairs.
Okay. Alren, Xanthi, you as well? Down the stairs,
Yeah,
or any
Xanthi
last remarks?
Would have paused a little bit if she had realized Des wasn't following her, because she doesn't want to
Because
get
he
separated.
stopped, sure. Yep. How
Yeah,
about
but
Alren? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Anything from Alren?
You are a cunning negotiator, and I think we're gonna have more business in the future.
I feel like we really bonded tonight, you and I.
Feel like we might have more business in the future.
You're a scholar and a gentleman.
I
and
hope
you
you
got
didn't mind
nice
that I
boots.
heated the brandy. I do like it that way.
That
Oh,
was
no,
good,
of
Randy.
course. I think you're right, Alren the Raven, that there may be more for the two of us. More deals to be struck. Progress to be made. Lives to be changed. I'll see you again. With that, you take your leave, following Bones down the spiral to the main floor, where he hands you your cloak, Alren. He's amazing. He just like holds it out and puts it on your shoulders for you. Classy skeleton, as they do. And the door swings open to leave the spire, having the door having reappeared as you entered the main floor. One by one, you walk out of the Gloomspire. And as the last of you passes the threshold, you get a strange feeling. You turn around and the Gloomspire is gone. You turn again back to the road before you, and you see a different scene. You see a crossroad of 5 ways. At the center of the crossroad stands a grisly marker, a signpost adorned with an ancient corpse bound to its cross pieces. Constant abrasion of windblown dust has scoured clean any placards on the signpost and turned the body that is attached to it into a desiccated husk. The corpse skin is as black as night and hard as boiled leather. The lids of its eyes are stitched closed, and its lips have been pulled back around its teeth into a terrifying grin. And as you walk up without even a word said, it tears one hand that has been nailed to this placard away and points down one of the 5 directions.
Gonna assume that's the fortress. You guys.
Yeah, Dez will just walk up to Nori and put a hand on her shoulder and just be like, that's the way. We'll get
Nori
it
still
done.
got the flame out in her hand, and she's still slumped over, and she just starts walking towards the direction we're supposed to go. Looking down. Kind of broken.
As she walks by the pointing corpse, she just goes, "Thanks for your service."
He bows. That is all
Continues walking.
gone.
Well, Nori, we're in this together because if we fail, it's gonna be all of our souls because we're not gonna get out of here. So it's okay. We're a team.
At least you'll get to hang out in the tavern, drinking beer.
Maybe.
I'll be back with this weird.
Or we'll end up in a mug.
Well, Des and I were talking last night, and we think we might have already promised our souls.
To each other.
I mean, to that river elf, and you did too.
You're right.
That's true. I didn't think of that. But one thing that kind of struck me there was that what's one soul to that devil? Right? Just keep that in mind, Nori. It seemed like a lot, but and that seemed too easy. But something tells me that devil doesn't want that countess around anymore.
Yeah, he wants her head. I think he's got plans for that head.
And you know what?
This
is his turf. He can have it. Let's give him what he wants and get out of here. We'll see it done.
I hope he didn't make copies of that. Hope it's
It was a very
contract
simple
will just-
contract, and I've read a fair deal about whether it's real or not, but maybe some embellishment along the way. But
we needed
those
it.
contracts can be complicated, and not everybody knows what it is that they want. But this one seemed surprisingly straightforward.
So you think he's going to try to play tricks on us?
No, I'm just wondering if
Thank you
he
for the
wants
raid,
this-
little bird.
he might stand to profit from the Countess being removed.
I mean, if the Countess is removed, it seems like everything will go back to normal here. As normal as this place could be.
Right.
And we should be free, and maybe my brother will be too. I think if we can get out of here after that, I don't care what power he has. I don't care.
These
Just-
devils, they traffic in souls. If we succeed, it might be back to business as usual for him. Just saying.
I don't know that we have any other option. I mean, we needed that flame. We need to get her free if we ever want to get out of here. We're kind of being led down a path without a lot of variation. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
And we've gotten farther than everybody else that's tried. That's a positive statement.
Yeah, we just can't lose.
Remember
Can't
about the
lose.
bar we talked about?
And
Well,
we've got a
lose.
high score so far. That's good, right? Now we're just adding to it.
We've got farther than everyone else. Does that mean that all the other swords are back somewhere. I mean, lost. I kind of thought we'd see them up ahead.
I have a feeling.
Maybe we just need to think about seeing one.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
we'll come
4 other
across one.
swords, right? And there were 4 cages in there, right?
Well, that would be 5 total.
Well, there were 4 filled cages. I feel my man can put another cage in there if he needed to.
But the symmetry would be all off.
It would.
Yeah,
it
I'm
would.
sure
wants
that's not what he
that.
wants.
Bad
He's a
face
very
would.
classy devil.
Yeah, with that kind of footwear, that man wants symmetry in his torture chambers.
He'd have to
Definitely doesn't do a
redo the
lot of work.
entire room. Who would want that?
That's the kind of guy that has other people do things for him.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are where we are. We're going to get it done. We're going to bring that head to that devil.
You know
We'll get it
what?
done.
We say stuff like that all the time now, and it does not faze me whatsoever. It's like I hear that in my sleep.
This place will change you.
Shit like that.
Big time.
We are gonna bring that head to that devil.
And fulfill our contract. Yes.
Because we finish things.
Nori puts her hand in the middle of the group that doesn't have the ember in it. Come on, you guys.
Alright.
Dez will put his hand in.
Oh,
Oh, Hansy gets in there too.
Oh, Hansy.
Absolutely.
Yep, handsy. Yep.
Yeah, we
Put
put
Hansy on the
we
top.
put the hands back and he just flies off.
Ah! And with that, the Golden Shears providing each other with a bit of moral support as they embark upon perhaps the final steps of their quest and lives, perhaps. Now carrying all of the components needed in the ritual. All that remains now is to gather the Shadow Heart from Jetzok, enact the ritual, and free the Queen of Shadow. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end this session on a high note. You have, well, on a mixed note, as you have achieved the collection of all of the spell components, the ritual components, but have much ahead of you yet to battle. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. Little Bird and company, thank you for the raid here in the last few minutes of our stream. Thank you to the raid from Phoenix Wacky. Guys, if you're not following Little Bird and Phoenix, please do. Really appreciate everybody who is hanging out with us. If you like what we do here at Guildspear, please consider following the channel. We would appreciate your support. And we're here every Tuesday night playing Heroes of Greyhawk. In fact, we have a new 5-part game starting up next week, October 1st, with a new crew of folks as we give this amazing table of players a rest for October. We'll be bringing in a group of folks to get down and dirty with a new mini campaign, 5-part called The Outlaws, with Coco Bunny, Scottish Jeff, Kateria, and Dungeon Mr. Ty. We're going to have a blast. Looking forward to that. It's going to be real fun. And then we will be back here in November to find out what happens with Nori Bibblespark's quest to free her patron from the clutches of a betraying lover, Countess Jetzok. You guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's go around the table here, and if there's anything y'all want to plug or anything you want to say to folks as you head off for a little break for the next couple of weeks, please do so. Let's start with Mr. Vamp Wickman, the Vamp Wickman, I should say.
What's up, everybody? Chad here, Van Wickman on the net. I've been here on Tuesdays playing Heroes of Greyhawk. Little break. Y'all can have some craziness after that. And you can also find me Sunday on the Gary Con Live channel, playing under Garner's game or Bart. One of them tries to kill us. Apparently, I'm not his main target anymore, but
Aw.
just because I'm not at the head of the list doesn't mean I'm not on the list.
Well, you're definitely on the list. You're on all the
Thank
lists.
you again. Thank you again, Dave. Good session, great role play. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's jump over to Andy G3D.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy, also known as Andy G3D, here on Twitch and other places around the internet. You can find me here every Tuesday night, unless we're taking a break for Heroes of Greyhawk, playing Desmond Adelar, part wizard, part rogue, part good times, part dodging curses. But yeah, come check us out on Discord. We're always online, throwing gifts at each other, having a good time.
Yeah, we are. We have a good time in our Discord.
Organizing games and streaming and having a good old time.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Andy. Great to have you here. Can't wait to, I'm really excited actually to get back to this because there's some serious shit ahead of you guys. I can't wait to see how you deal with it.
It's going to be a long break.
It's going to be a long break. Yeah. But we're excited for Outlaws, and it's always nice to have a little breather. So we'll find out what happens in a couple weeks. Let's jump over to Ashley next.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley, also known as Minnesota Muse, and you can find me as Minnesota Muse on our Discord, on Blue Sky, or as Minnesota Muse 99 on Threads. So come by, hang out, we'll throw some memes at each other, and we'll have a really good time. And so I'm off for a month, so I'm gonna have to use that for some planning for the game that I am DMing. Gosh, I forget what the start date is actually. But later, not in October. We're gonna
December
bring
5th.
back December 5th.
Yep.
The Undying Sky. So that time is coming up. I gotta get to planning.
Heck
Writing
yeah.
something good for you.
We're
all.
very, very excited for that. The first, if folks are interested in catching up with the Undying Sky, all of those episodes, including the episodes of pretty much everything we've ever done, is on our YouTube channel. So go over and follow us or whatever you do on YouTube and check out the Undying Sky. Get ready because it's going to be epic. We're really excited, and I love that narrative, and I'm excited to see where you take it next, Ashley. Thank you very, very much. I will miss you over the next couple of weeks, but I know there'll be some planning and some scheming that goes on behind the scenes. So looking forward to that. And certainly last but not least, Shelly, Flea Monkey, what's up?
What's up? Shelly here, Flea Monkey, or hey, it's Flea Monkey on Threads and Instagram. I am excited to take a month off and regroup and just gather up all the tears I've got because I think they're coming. All right. And in the meantime, I am so excited to see what happens in Outlaws. So I am going to be on the other side of this.
Yay.
Watching and taking notes. So anyway, I guess maybe I'll see you guys next on Tales of the Whisper Woods. I think that is actually going to be first before we come back here.
Yeah, that starts up in October. Absolutely. Yep.
So, come over here on Saturday. I don't even know the start date right now, but just, come back every Saturday and just see what's going on here. Maybe when do we start?
That is going to be Saturday, October 19th. Nope, sorry.
It is
November 2nd. We have the Tales from the Loop is starting on the 19th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. We got a lot of tales to tell,
2nd.
y'all. So many tales. We're chasing our tails over here. Yeah, thank you, Shelly.
We got a lot of games going on.
I just want to say the impetus for this whole Shadowlands thing and where this has gone is straight out of Shelly's backstory. So you can literally blame Shelly for all of the despair, dread, and sorrow that we have been playing around with. But it has been very, very fun. And we've explored some pretty interesting things. The biggest question, honestly, on my mind right now is what the fuck is up with that Desmond and Xanthi? And I guess we'll have to wait a couple weeks to find out. I don't know. It's up in the air for me. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know. You don't know. We're going to go ahead and raid into some folks here. So please stick with us here. We're going to raid into Captain Owlbear like we do. They're playing some D&D and they're good folks. So let's go ahead and raid into them. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us and cheering us on and following us. If you like what we're doing, please consider following the channel. We appreciate your support. We're going to get after it, you guys. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday for the first session of our new Outlaws campaign. We'll see you then. Bye.